distinguished guests from across the globe and fellow Malaysians. We have always spoken and envisioned a future that would be truly connected and digital. That vision is now here with us today on this stage, and it's here to stay. However, we wished that it were in better circumstances and not at a time where the world is battling the war against COVID-19. We hope and pray that all of you are safe wherever you are and protected from this deadly pandemic. Thriving in the new normal means we must embrace change. And to help us do this, we must enable technology, and only then we can empower the society. It is with these pillars in mind, eNation is brought to you virtually this year. We are honored to have you here today, a congregation of startups, entrepreneurs, innovators, regulators, investors, policymakers, and industry leaders at the country's most anticipated startup and technology ecosystem conference. Over the next 4 days, eNation will be an intellectual powerhouse with 65 brilliant minds made up of policymakers, technologists, innovators, and world-renowned authors. We are honored to be in the company of former heads of states, Helen Clark and Dr. Ng Chan Chung, Indonesia's Minister of Education and Culture, Nadiem Makarim, and the former French Minister for SME, Innovation and Digital Economy, Fleur Pellerin, as well as Ed Vaizey, the former Minister of Culture, Communication and Creative Industries. We are also joined by world-renowned experts such as Prof. Nassim Taleb of New York University, Tom Mitchell of Carnegie Mellon University, Google Malaysia's country head Mark Wu, Grab Group Vice President Cheryl Goh, and Razer FinTech CEO Lee Ming. You will also hear from successful startups who will share their journey and valuable insights for everyone to benefit from. Not only you will be hearing from them, you will also have the opportunity to chime in with your opinions and take part in discussions. You can also expand your network by chatting with other attendees via online messaging and attending virtual exhibitions. We will be discussing a wide range of topics, such as predicting the new norms, national branding, education inequality, agriculture, as well as opportunities for marginalized communities, as we seek to develop a sustainable and inclusive ecosystem that will close the socio-economic gap in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This year, our theme is propelling a resilient economy against the backdrop of global COVID-19 pandemic, which has impacted both public health as well as the global economy. The number of people infected has risen to more than 38 million, with more than 1 million succumbing to the virus. The impact on the global economy has been devastating. In the first 3 months of this year, the Dow Jones and FTSE saw their biggest quarterly drops since 1987, declining 13.3% and 19.3% respectively. According to the IMF, unemployment in the United States rose to 10.4% from just 3.7% the previous year. The UK, Spain and Tunisia experienced a GDP contraction in excess of 20%. Malaysia recorded a GDP contraction of 17.1% in Q2, resulting in the World Bank revising Malaysia's economic growth forecast for 2020 to a GDP contraction of 4.9%. With many countries in lockdown, it is only natural that we experienced a decline in domestic demand. Net exports, private consumption and private investments dipped drastically. This has of course affected the startup ecosystem, where working capital and funds to scale up has been impacted due to decline in revenues, investments as well as grants. Some businesses have had to close down, while many have scaled down and retrenched employees. The Global Startup Ecosystem Report noted that since the beginning of the pandemic, 72% of startups in the world have seen their sales fall, and the drop has averaged at 32%. A 40% decline in sales or more was faced by 40% of all startups, while only 12% reported substantial growth. COVID-19 has accelerated the need for innovation and created game-changing opportunities for nations to bounce back and establish economic resilience via innovation and creativity. We need to embrace change and ensure business growth and sustainability. There are lessons to be learned from the global health crisis, and it is important to learn, adapt, and pivot. And by enabling technology, we are able to re-engineer the way we operate and transform our futures. Ladies and gentlemen, in the first week of Malaysia's movement control order, 46% of startups expected to shut down within 6 months if the pandemic stretched. 2 weeks into the MCO, we discovered that startups experience a 64% decline in revenue. There were lessons that we could share with the other startups as we encouraged them to pivot their business models to survive and prime themselves for recovery. Of course, some business models are tough to pivot, and a better solution may be to tear it apart and draw up a new plan. Tough times call for extraordinary measures. But some startups are agile by nature and are able to shift faster compared to larger conglomerates. This can be partially attributed to their commitment to capacity building, which has made them more resilient in times of crisis. These startups have enhanced their skills and knowledge. They are ready to scale up and mitigate disruptions. Magic has always been a believer of capacity building and supports the ecosystem through various accelerator programs and bootcamps, making available our best-of-breed mentors and most sought-after coaches in various areas of specialties to assist startups reaching out for assistance. The slew of government interventions have also helped, with almost 74% claiming that they have benefited from various government incentives. Ladies and gentlemen, in March, the Prime Minister unveiled the Prihatin Economic Stimulus Package valued at 250 billion ringgit Malaysia to assist citizens impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. This was followed by a 1.2 billion ringgit Malaysia National Economic Recovery Plan, PENJANA, that focuses on 3 key attributes: empower people, propel businesses, and to stimulate the economy. Under PENJANA, 2 key initiatives to propel innovation were announced by the government. These initiatives are the National Technology and Innovation Sandbox and the Social Impact Matching Grant. We believe an open and collaborative platform and conversations is what we need to bring the right people on board and to devise more effective solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, we may be facing an economic contraction, but the truth is, matters could be worse. Our friends in the healthcare sector have worked tirelessly to mitigate the worst of COVID-19 pandemic. Malaysia's resilient economy has managed to stand firm. No doubt, thanks to the strong foundations in place, as well as the timely and strategic government interventions to prevent us from going into a free fall. Next year promises to be a better year, with Bank Negara Malaysia forecasting a GDP growth of between 5.5% to 8%. That is indeed music to our ears. If we zoom into Asia Pacific, the findings show that 49% believe that the economy will pick up. The OECD expects global GDP to return to its pre-pandemic level by Q3 2021. We need to be primed for recovery, and we need all of you. We cannot do this alone. Building a vibrant and sustainable ecosystem at a national, regional, and global scale requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders, from entrepreneurs and corporates to regulators and consumers, as we attempt to innovatively develop solutions for challenges that come our way. Together, we can propel a resilient global economy. Since our inception, Magic has played a significant role in connecting stakeholders within the startup ecosystem and the value chain, not just for Malaysians, but foreign ones too. We would like to welcome all bright minds to work together in creating meaningful socio-economic impact to the world. On that note, I would like to thank all of you for being here at eNation, and I hope you will find the keynote speeches, panel discussions, and mentoring sessions rewarding, productive, as well as enjoyable. Thank you. Let's begin.